Hey guys, Kate Sparks here. I just got home from a lovely weekend in St. John's where I was participating in the Romancing the Rock Exposed event. That was 13 romance authors, I think there were 13 of us, from Newfoundland gathering in St. John's, getting together. We all had our books there available for purchase and signing, and we also had some book readings, and we had 4 panel sessions on writing and publishing, all over the course of 3 hours at a lovely restaurant in downtown called Magnum and Stein's. So that was my first live event as a professional author. I have attended readings before, and obviously I do a lot of stuff online. I do Facebook parties for my own book launches, and I do takeovers at them for other authors and fun stuff like that. But this was my first live thing. And this was a big deal for me. If you've seen my introduction video for this channel, you know that part of the reason that I'm doing these YouTube videos is to try to become a little bit more comfortable with speaking. In this case, I'm just on camera, and I don't actually have to worry about making eye contact with people and having conversations with people and making small talk and things like that. But I am getting a little bit better, I think, about forming coherent sentences when I'm speaking. I'm so much better at writing than I am at speaking. It's ridiculous. So this was another big step for me in coming out of my shell a little bit, maybe. I tried to. It was wonderful to get out and meet a whole bunch of authors who I've only talked to through Facebook. We had a really good turnout from the public. We had no idea what to expect. This was the first time that we had done this event, and the group itself is fairly new, so it could have been really rocky, but things went pretty smoothly, all things considered. We had quite a few people coming to the paid sessions, which was awesome because the panel that I did with Candace Osmond, who was excellent, was on self-publishing, because that was something that, you know, we felt like we had some expertise on that we could talk about. And it went really well. We both got to talk about why we decided to take this route rather than submitting to traditional publishers. And we answered a lot of questions for people. So that was really wonderful. It's funny, I actually don't have a problem with speaking in front of a crowd, as long as I know it's expected of me and I know how long I have and don't have a whole bunch of that kind of stuff up in the air. I'm pretty good talking in front of a group of people and answering questions and things like that. It's just when I was sitting at my table and people were walking by and kind of glancing at my books and glancing at me, and I had to decide whether to talk to them and whether to get out there or whether that would be weird and whether it would just make them uncomfortable, because I know that if I'm looking at somebody's books on a table or they're crap at a garage sale or whatever and they jump out and start trying to sell me stuff, that's really awkward for me, and I don't like doing that kind of stuff. So that part was a bit harder for me. But I got through it, exposed a few people to my books, I guess, sold a couple. I didn't really expect to make a lot of sales because, as I said, this was a romance crowd, not a fantasy crowd. And while Into Illurion is fantasy romance, my covers and my descriptions and that, they're really geared more toward the fantasy romance or young adult fantasy crowd, rather than the crowd that might want, you know, bare-chested wolf shifters on the cover. But it was great. It was a wonderful experience, and CBC News Newfoundland and Labrador was there. A lovely woman named Amy brought her camera and she asked some of us a few questions, and I actually ended up being on the news. I really didn't think that she would use any of my answers because I thought I sounded like a big dork, but it turned out pretty well, I think. So that was kind of fun, kind of exciting. People keep asking me whether it was fun. You know, they ask about the event and they say, oh, how did it go? And I say, good. And they go, did you have fun? And I don't know how to answer that. Being out and about and attending an event where I don't know what to expect and interacting with people I don't know, those things aren't fun for me. That doesn't mean it was a bad experience. I am so glad that I went. I am so glad that I got out to meet people. But I can't say that this kind of thing is fun for me. It's a valuable experience. It's not a fun experience. I finished that up. I went out and had a nice quiet cup of tea with a good friend to kind of settle my nerves and finish off the day. And then I crashed. I was exhausted after having to spend an entire day with people. So fun, not exactly, but I think I will definitely try to get out and do more stuff like this, more live events. Maybe someday I will get out to a local library and do a reading. Maybe I will follow my dream of trying to get more people involved with NaNoWriMo around here, and maybe even get a group together in central Newfoundland, because I definitely can't make it out to St. John's for write-ins. That's a 4-hour drive for me. Was it good in terms of my career? I don't know. I mean, like I say, I met some new readers, maybe not my readers, but I was out there. I was doing something, and I hope I presented myself pretty well. It was a learning experience, and it was a good one. So I definitely think that the pro column outweighs the con column for any of this. The con column for doing something like this, basically just the expenses of getting out there and being in town for the weekend. I guess the mileage is a tax write-off, I don't know. I'll have to ask somebody about that. And just my own personal discomfort. I am introverted, I am somewhat shy, I'm very self-conscious, and so this was hard for me. So that's a con. I don't like stepping out of my comfort zone, but I am really, really glad that I did. And as a bonus, before the event actually started, after we got set up, I got to go out by myself and walk around downtown St. John's a little bit, which I highly recommend. It is a beautiful part of town. I got myself a delicious coffee, and I got to poke around a little bit and explore some of the side streets, look down some alleys, and do a little bit of location scouting for my next project, which will be set in St. John's. So that was pretty cool. But yeah, I got home last night, I had a good sleep, I am still completely exhausted. So I'm going to get back to work right now. I'm doing some critique for an author friend, really good book. I'm very excited to be reading it, and I wish I could share more about that with you, but I definitely can't right now. And then I'm gonna get back to doing some more world building for my own project. While it is set in St. John's, it's basically going to be my own supernatural version of St. John's set on top of the real thing. So that'll be good. I'm excited about it. I'm really excited to have this event out of the way with all of my anxiety about it, about not knowing what to expect and trying to prepare for it and all of that. My brain's just been like everywhere. So I'm glad I did it. I'm glad to have it out of the way. Same goes for the sale that I just ran on Bound. Glad that I did it. Always nice to have some more readers maybe coming into the series and hopefully enjoying it, but I'm glad that's out of the way. I just hope that my brain will now kind of settle down a little bit and allow me to focus and actually get some writing done for the first time since June. It's been a while. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you want to talk more about that world building thing next week, we can definitely do that. So just let me know in the comments if that's a thing that you would like to hear more about, or if you have questions about that. I will try to find the link for that news segment. It was posted on Facebook, so I should be able to find the link somewhere. I'll put that down in the comments in case anybody wants to watch that. And otherwise, yeah, thank you for liking the video. Thank you for subscribing. Leave any other questions or comments for me, and I will do my best to answer them. I guess that's it. And yeah, okay. I will talk to you next week.